Wow, you guys, it officially happened. Today was the day. Metroid Prime Remastered is officially a real game being made and released by Nintendo. In fact, people are literally playing the game right now as I'm recording this video. So this is insane. We seriously are living in Bizarro World, but it's the best kind of Bizarro World because the Nintendo Direct just wrapped up a little bit ago, and of all of the really cool things within that Direct, there's one main thing that got me excited and that we are focusing on today, and of course, you guys, it's the Metroid Prime Remaster, which I use the term remaster loosely. I feel like the game is more like a remake, and so I will get into that. But I just have to say, it happened. It's real. I can't believe after all of the years of wondering and guessing and leaks and rumors and all of these different conversations that I've been having and many of us have been having, this thing, it just, who knows when it started and when it was officially being made behind the scenes. But regardless of that, we finally know that it's real. And like I said, people are playing it because they shadow dropped the digital version today. It's just an unbelievable dream come true. So here's the thing. Before I jump into the Metroid stuff, which is really all I care about right now, I do want to talk about the Nintendo Direct as a whole very, very quickly, just to say, as a whole Nintendo Direct, I thought it was good. I thought it was even really good. Was it amazing? I mean, kind of, yes, just because of Metroid Prime Remastered, but in all actuality, I would probably just say it was a really, really good Direct. If I'm being honest, most of the things shown today were not interesting or exciting to me, but it had a couple of amazing things within it. They started with Pikmin 4, we saw the gameplay, it looks fantastic, we've got Ice Pikmin coming, they introduced this dog character, it's going to be amazing, and it's coming out July 21st, so it's literally like the week after my birthday, and I just think it looks absolutely fantastic. They confirmed Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 are getting remastered, also GameCube games that I love to death, those are going to be coming to the Switch, and those are great games, so I'm very excited about that. A huge thing is Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games coming to Nintendo Switch Online. Another thing that a lot of people have been talking about and predicting and hoping for a long time. I kind of like half believed it and half thought that that was a pipe dream, but it turned out to be real, and it's got a great lineup of games, and I think it's an incredible thing to add to the overall value of these retro consoles available on Nintendo Switch Online. And then, of course, they ended with what I kind of predicted was the first full real trailer for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now, the only things I want to say about this trailer before I jump into the Metroid stuff is that this was a really good trailer. It showed us the largest collection of gameplay snippets and ideas about what's going on that we've seen yet. We had what sounds, I'm assuming, is probably Ganon talking to us, narrating the beginning of the trailer. Maybe it's this other character that's going to be resurrecting Ganon, similar to like Zant or Girahim kind of situation. So I'm not really sure who that character is. Maybe you know, or someone else has pointed it out. But, you know, I'll just say it was a good trailer. Some of the stuff they showed us from the sky bits were really fantastic. I think it kind of confirmed that my theory about the floating islands being lifted out of the ground is not true, so I think my theory was wrong, but they didn't really confirm it either, so it's tough to say. It was a really good trailer, but I will admit, I don't think it was as good as the first trailer for Breath of the Wild. Actually, all of the trailers for Breath of the Wild, those were so incredible, and this one to me, while great, I think it kind of lacked just a little bit of punch. But I honestly don't care, because I think this game is going to be amazing. We're probably going to get a Nintendo Direct focused on this game in April. And so until that happens, I thought it was great to see, you know, finally get like a 2.5-minute trailer for Tears of the Kingdom. And so anyway, you don't want to hear me talk about that stuff anymore. Let's talk about Metroid. So this was one of the biggest shocks. And, you know, I know this is going to be a hot take for some, and I'm going to be making a lot of videos about this game over the next probably week or so. Even though everyone gets to play it, I really want to cover a lot of what's happening with this game. So what I'm going to say, first off, I've not played it, okay? Because I was working today from home. I was able to watch the Direct during my lunch break. And as soon as I finished work, now I've kind of turned this on to start making this video. So unfortunately, I'm not yet able to talk to you guys with any hands-on impressions yet. I am going to be buying and downloading the game, and I'm also going to buy the physical copy, of course. It's only $40, by the way, which is so insane. What a great value. And so the hot take I was mentioning is, and I've said this in the past, I personally prefer that we got just basically a remade version of Metroid Prime as opposed to just an HD remaster of all 3 games. I know a lot of people feel the value of 3 games is better than a remade version of 1 game, and I understand that. I'm not going to necessarily try to convince you to feel differently. I'm just going to say, for me, I think that what they did with Metroid Prime 1, the amount of effort they seem to have put in, is so valuable, and it's my favorite game ever made, that to me this is more important than playing games that have just barely been made to look better in HD, even though it would be 3 games, because more effort goes into this, and this to me is just overall more exciting. Which brings me to what the game looks like. And again, I haven't played it myself. All I can say is from the trailer they showed, this game looks vastly different from the original Metroid Prime on the GameCube and, of course, the Wii Trilogy re-release, which was effectively the same game visually. This is beautiful. The lighting, the textures, the shadows, the HDness, right? The resolution. I mean, it just looks gorgeous. And they definitely remade all of the character models. Samus, Ridley, the space pirates, the bosses we saw like Thardus and Flagra. I mean, they didn't show us Metroid Prime, and I can't wait to see what Metroid Prime looks like at the end of this game. Spoiler alert. But you can tell they really did remake this game. It shocks me that they call it remastered, because I feel like just like Dead Space Remake is a game that was remade, they could have called this Metroid Prime Remake. I think they actually should have done that, because based on what I saw, maybe I'll feel differently when I finally turn it on and see it with my own eyes. But I don't think I will, because even the environments, Vendrana Drifts was a great example. They are clearly redone and remade. Seeing the effects of the different visors, very, very different. I don't think this is a remaster. To me, this game is so beautiful and borderline next-gen looking that I think this is just a flat-out remake. Something else I'm excited to try and get my hands on is the controls, because from my understanding, and the trailer basically confirmed this, there's updated modern controls where you can use dual analog like you're playing Call of Duty or Halo, which I love and I can't wait to try, but it's also got classic controls. And I believe there's also motion controls. I haven't had a chance to confirm that yet because I just haven't had the time, unfortunately. But I'm literally going to finish this video and then go and actually play it, right? And kind of test it out. But regardless, I love that they're giving us control options. And so it's interesting when we think about what this could mean for Metroid Prime 4, right? One, we've seen what they were able to do by remaking a GameCube game on just the 2017 Switch hardware. So visually, it looks absolutely phenomenal and gorgeous. Imagine Metroid Prime 4, which was designed on either the Switch hardware or maybe even the next-gen hardware, depending on what's happening there. It's going to look so much better than even this game does. And seeing that they were able to create control options for the original game is a huge deal, you guys, because that means traditional and dual analog control, maybe traditional GameCube-style control, and the all-important motion control for the Metroid Prime games very much is going to be a part of Metroid Prime 4. I feel like seeing that they created controls options for Metroid Prime Remastered tells me that they're probably going to do the same for Metroid Prime 4, which I had been expecting, and I think a lot of people have been expecting that as well, but since that game is still such a mystery, all we've been able to do is guess. And so I like to take this as much closer to confirmation that they're going to give us options as possible. It's not actual confirmation, but it's pretty darn close. And so will Metroid Prime 4 look as good as that famous Unreal Tech demo from Milky Max that I think is phenomenal and I've talked about many times? Is it going to look that good? Is it going to look even better? Is it going to look only slightly better than this Metroid Prime Remaster? Or maybe even identical to this Metroid Prime Remaster? It's tough to say. I'm just going to come back to what I've already mentioned here. I think, based on the trailer, what I've seen visually is fantastic. I love that they've finally taken my favorite game of all time and modernized it. I love that we have control options that I assume will be part of Metroid Prime 4. Will we get Metroid Primes 2 or 3? I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. At this point, the reveal of this game tells us that a lot of maybe the rumors and leaks we've been hearing, both the stuff we've heard behind the scenes and the stuff said publicly by folks like Jeff Grubb and Emily Rogers and whatnot, I feel like this tells us that the talk about the Metroid Prime remake was true for over a year ago, for over a year, back when these discussions first started. And one of the things Jeff Grubb said at the end of the year last year, even though he was wrong about this all showing up before the year was over, he did say that Metroid Prime 1 has a full remake, and then they're just doing, you know, little ports of 2 and 3. So now we have to wonder, is that true? Is the ports of 2 and 3 what's going to be coming, and 1 was the only one to get the remake/remaster treatment? I think that would disappoint some folks, but personally, I don't care. And the fact that, again, this was shadow dropped digitally, and then there's a physical copy of this coming in only 2 weeks on February 22nd in North America is the most incredible thing. I am so glad that they did not skimp out on a physical release. They knew that was a goodwill business decision by Nintendo. They said Metroid fans are gonna want and demand a physical copy, so even though we want to shadow drop the digital version, we know we owe the fans of Metroid something special. They're gonna want a physical copy for their collection, so let's deliver that and release it. I don't think any of us Metroid fans are upset about the 2-week difference between the digital version today and the physical version in 2 weeks. Not to mention, it gives chances for double dipping. And I'm not going to say I recommend double dipping because I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money and spend extra money, but I am going to double dip because I just want to support the franchise. And I want to play the digital version now, and I want to have a physical version for my collection. So that's what I'm going to do. This is amazing, you guys. The Direct was good. Zelda was great. Pikmin was great. Game Boy Advance games and Game Boy coming to Switch Online. This is all fantastic stuff. But Metroid Prime Remastered, you guys, my #1 favorite video game ever created. Looking so juicy and beautiful. I just want to take a bite out of it. I feel like I'm dreaming. I feel so lucky as a fan that a company I like decided to do this with my favorite game. It's just so incredible, and so I'm gonna shut up and stop talking and go play this game.